Emil goes to the city. "Now, Emil," said his mother, "get ready. Your clothes are on your bed. Get dressed, and then we'll have our dinner." "Yes, Mother." "Wait a minute. Have I forgotten anything? Your other clothes are in your case. There's some food for your journey. These flowers are for your aunt. I'll give you the money for your grandmother after dinner. No, that's all, I think." Emil left the room, and Mrs. Fisher turned to her neighbour, Mrs. Martin. "My son's going to the city for 2 or 3 weeks. At first, he didn't want to go. But what can he do here while his school's closed? My sister's asked us again and again to visit her. I can't go, because I have so much work. Emil's never travelled alone before, but he's old enough now. He'll be all right. His grandmother's going to meet him at the station." "I think he'll enjoy the city," said Mrs. Martin. "All boys like it. There are so many things to see. I must go now, Mrs. Fisher. Goodbye." Emil came back into the room and sat down at the table. His hair was tidy, and he was wearing his best jacket. While he ate, he watched his mother. "I mustn't eat too much," he thought. "She won't like it when I'm going away for the first time." But his mother was thinking about other things. "Don't forget to write to me when you arrive," she said. "All right. Give my love to your aunt and your grandmother and your cousin Polly. Look after yourself, and be good. I don't want anyone to say that you're not a polite boy." "I promise." After dinner, Emil's mother went to the sitting room. There was a tin box on one of the shelves. She took out some money and came back to the table. "Here's £70, she said. 5 £10 notes and 4 £5 notes. Give your grandmother £60. I couldn't send the money to her before, but I've worked hard and I've saved it for her. The other £10 is for you. Your return journey will cost about £3. Use the other £7 when you go out. I'll put the money in this little bag. Now don't lose it. Where will you put it?" Emil thought for a minute. Then he put the bag into the pocket inside his jacket. "It'll be safe there," he said. His mother looked serious. "You mustn't tell anyone on the train about the money." "Of course not," said Emil. Some people think that £70 is not a large amount of money. But it was a lot of money to Emil and his mother. Emil's father was dead, so his mother worked hard all day. She paid for their food and clothes, and for her son's books and his school. Emil realized that his mother worked hard, so he really tried to do well in class. She was always pleased when he got a good report from his teacher at the end of the year. "Let's go now," said Mrs. Fisher. "You mustn't miss the train. If the bus comes along, we'll take it." The country bus was very old and slow. Emil and his friends wanted modern buses in Newton, but other people in the town liked their old bus. They liked the driver, too. He always stopped at your house for you. You called out, and the driver stopped, but it was often quicker to walk. The bus came, and Emil and his mother got on. They got off at the square in front of the station. Then they heard a deep voice behind them. "Where are you going?" It was Newton's chief of police. Emil's mother said, "My son's going to visit his grandmother for 2 or 3 weeks." Emil felt silly. He was remembering something. In the centre of the station square, there was a statue of a very famous judge. One day, after school, Emil and his friends climbed up and put an old cap on the statue's head. Then Emil began to paint its nose red. Suddenly the chief of police walked into the square. "Oh no, he saw me," thought Emil, as he and his friends ran away. Now, a week later, Emil waited for the policeman to say, "Emil Fischer, come with me. You are going to prison." But the policeman didn't say anything as Emil carried his case into the station. Perhaps he was waiting until Emil came back from the city. Mrs. Fischer bought a ticket for Emil. They only had to wait a few minutes for the train. "Don't leave anything on the train, and don't sit on the flowers. Someone will lift your case up for you. Don't forget to say please." "I can lift the case up," said Emil. "I'm not a baby." "All right." His mother was looking serious again. "You must get out at the right station in the city," she said. "It's the East Station, not the West Station. Your grandmother will be by the ticket office." "I'll find her, Mother." "Don't throw paper on the floor of the carriage when you eat your food. And don't lose the money." Emil opened his jacket and felt in his pocket. "Don't worry," he said. "It's safe." The train came into the station. Emil kissed his mother and climbed into a carriage with his case. His mother gave him the flowers and food. "Is there a seat for you?" she asked. "Yes," said Emil. "Be good and write to me." "You must write to me, too." "Of course. Now, be nice to your cousin Polly." The carriage doors were shut, and the train moved slowly out of the station. Mrs. Fischer waved her hand for a long time. Then she turned round and went home. She felt sad, but she only cried for a short time. She had to do her work.